Okay, we will discuss this mock exam, and we will definitely discuss the concept of the topic as well, which is asked by the examiner in this section A and section B. Section A, all 15 questions are compulsory and must be attempted. As you know that there is no choice in ACCA exams. Each question is worth 2 marks. Conference company has a divisionalized structure. We all know that what is the meaning of divisionalized structure? Divisionalized structure means that there are two or more than two departments in an organization. Each one of the department has its own targets and it is expected from the department to achieve their given targets. And we usually use what? We usually use divisional performance measurement approach like return on investment and residual income to determine the performance of a division. One of its division X sells all its output to other divisions within the company, where one of the division is selling goods to another division of the organization. This is called transfer price. Transfer price is the concept where no one is selling their product or transferring their product without charging profit. It is the concept where selling division will charge profit or will earn contribution when selling goods to another department of the organization. Division X annual budgeted output and cost are as follows. Units sold 1050. Here division X is selling all the units to the other division. It means it shows that either division X has no external demand, or we can say that it is also possible that division X has the external demand, but within the organization, other division has the demand of 1050 units. That's why it is not possible for division X to fulfill the demand of the external customer. So what we are saying that we are saying 1050 units are sold to whom? 1050 units are sold to the other department of the organization. Direct material cost is 22,500. Direct labor is 45,350. Overheads are 40% variable. What does it mean 40% variable? 40% variable means we are not going to charge fixed overheads as a relevant cost if fixed overheads is not product specific. And remember one thing here, I would like to show you something. It is not mentioned fixed overheads or it is not written variable overheads. Although here examiner tells us that 40% is variable, but at times they are not communicating that what is the percentage of variable. And we need to use high-low method to divide total overheads into two components. One is called variable overhead and the other one is called fixed cost per period. So these overheads are whenever only overheads are written, it means it is a mixed cost. Mixed cost means what? Semi-variable cost. It means it is a mix of variable and fixed cost. And wherever if it is expected from us to divide those costs, we will divide. What transfer price will result in a profit margin of 20% for division X to the nearest whole dollar? Now, not only related to this MCQ, but I would like to tell you that there are different approaches to determine the transfer price. What approaches we are using to determine the transfer price? Number one approach is where there is no external demand. We always say that we will use opportunity costing approach, and opportunity costing means what? Opportunity costing means transfer price is equal to variable cost per unit. Remember, if there is no external demand and we are following opportunity costing approach, opportunity cost approach means what? Opportunity cost approach means variable cost is equal to the transfer price. And if there is external demand, then transfer price is equal to variable production cost per unit plus lost contribution per unit, right? So this is the opportunity costing principle. Another approach is full cost plus pricing. Full cost plus pricing or full cost plus profit is equal to price or transfer price is the one where the selling department is calculating their total cost, just like in this question, and adding profit margin to determine the sales price or transfer price. So what transfer price per unit will result in a profit margin of 20% of the division X. We are provided with the total cost of material, direct labor, overheads, and we can do what? We can add all these values. Here he used the word of profit margin. There are usually two words. One is called profit markup and the other one is called profit margin. Whenever we use the word of profit markup, we say that you will treat your total cost as 100% and you will add your profit percentage. Suppose 20% profit is provided here, and after adding this 20%, your sales price is 120%. But this is usually called what? This approach is usually called markup approach, or examiner will directly tell you that or ask you to calculate the selling price where profit is 20% on the total cost. Whenever we say margin, margin means what? Margin means profit percentage is determined on selling price. Profit percentage is determined on selling price. So suppose this time your selling price is treated as 100% and you are saying that your profit is 20%. So your total cost is treated as 80%. Remember this difference for your examinations. Most of the students make a mistake in this calculation. They are prepared, well prepared with the exam. They understand the question. They know that what to calculate, but here they make a mistake and they lose their 2 marks. So now, first of all, what will we do? We will add up all these costs and we will determine that what is the sum of all these costs. So if you can add and you guys participate in the class, it will be very good for all of us and it will save my time to add up these values. So total cost is 105,000. Total cost is treated at what? It is treated as 80%. Why? Because we are calculating 20% profit on the total selling price. So now this is called gross up. Gross up means what? We are calculating 100 out of what? We are calculating 100% out of this 80% because this total cost is treated as 80%. So 105,000 divided by 0.8, we can say that 131,250 dollar is what? 131,250 dollar is the transfer price. Now he is saying that what is the per unit transfer price. So this one is the total value. We are required to do what? Now we are required to convert this total selling price into what? Into per unit by dividing 1050 units. So by dividing 1050 units, our answer is 125. So the transfer price is what? Transfer price per unit is 125. Any question, anyone? Okay. Now we are moving to the next one. A company needs 400 kgs of material Z to fulfill a customer order in 1 month's time. So we have a time of 1 month to complete this order. Further, he is saying a company has no material Z in inventory. Currently, there is no material in the inventory. Whenever you have no material in the inventory, you need to do what? You have to purchase. The current purchase price of material Z is $20 per kg and it is expected to rise 24 in 1 month's time. We are required to perform this order in 1 month's time and it is expected that price will rise to 24 in 1 month's time. Material Z is perishable and normally 20% of the stored material is lost per month. So if we purchase now, if we purchase today, we have to do what? We have to face short loss of 20% if we purchase now. And if we purchase after a month, then maybe it will be available at higher price of $24 per kg. The company expects to have 200 kgs of material Y in inventory in 1 month's time with no alternative use. So where there is no alternative use, no regular use or no continuous use, what does it mean? It means it is saleable as a scrap. Use other than to sell it as scrap for $18 per kg. 200 of material Y could be converted in 200 of material Z in 1 month time at a cost of $4 per kg. Material Y is not perishable. So the other option is to do what? Other option is to convert into what? Is to convert into material Z. We need how much quantity? We need 400 quantity of the material Z. First of all, we will compare this one where we purchase material Z today at $20. He is saying that there will be a wastage of 20%. So it means after a month you will get or there will be 80% of the purchased material. Again, here we will use the concept of gross up. And gross up concept says what? Multiplied by 100 divided by 80. So if we purchase now for $20, then there will be a wastage of 20% and our average cost per kg will be $25. Means we have to purchase what? We have to purchase, like we can say alternatively, if we need 400 and there is a chance of wastage of 20%. So in terms of kgs, we have to purchase 500. Out of those 500, there will be wastage of 20%, and then we can say that we will be able to use 400. Either we calculate in terms of kgs or we calculate in terms of dollar. So alternatively, what we can do, we can purchase at $24 per kg. We always use the cheapest one or we always choose the lowest possible cost. So we will say that $24 per kg is the relevant cost for material Z up till now. Further, he says what? He says you have alternatively 200 kgs and you can sell as scrap. Otherwise, you can convert into material Z by paying $4 per kg. If you can sell at $18 per kg now, it is basically what? It is your opportunity cost. If you are not selling now for $18 and you are investing further $4 per kg and converting material Y into material Z, so your relevant cost is $22 per kg. This $22 per kg is lower in comparison with the external supplier selling price. But this can be used only for 200 kgs and here we need what? We need 400 kgs. So what will we do? we will say that relevant cost is 24 kg, at $24, 200 kgs are purchased from the market and remaining 200 are available in the store, which will cost us $22. So we can do what? We can calculate our relevant cost. Anyone? Any question? So your total relevant cost will be what? It will be 9,200. $25 is not the relevant cost because it is the highest one. We will choose lower in comparison with this. Further, we have 200 of material Y which can be converted into material Z. So we will convert into material Z, and to make sure that there is the lowest possible relevant cost incurred by the company, and the company is paying what? Company is paying $9,200. Then he says identifying by clicking on the box below whether the following statements are true or false. Now, the first one is a transaction processing system. What is this transaction processing system? As you know that it is a part of management information system where we know that an organization management is making decisions for what? Organizations management is making decisions for day-to-day basis, or operational management is making decisions for day-to-day basis. A transaction processing system collects and records the transaction of an organization. An executive information system is the one which is used by senior management for decision making purposes. A way of integrating the data from all the operations within the organization into a single system. I think this is not the correct information of executive management information system. Executive information system, this definition could be correct for MIS but not for EIS. So it is false. Here it collects and records the transactions for an organization. This is true, where we are collecting the information about day-to-day transactions of the organization. In fact, it is used by whom? It is used by our operational staff or operational management. X company uses a throughput accounting system. Now, what is this throughput accounting system? Throughput accounting system is basically the one which is dealing with the limiting factor. And throughput accounting system assumes that there is only one limiting factor, which is called machine hours. Machine hours is the limiting factor which does not allow us to produce maximum amount of units which are asked by our competitors, which is called maximum demand. Throughput accounting system has its own features or its characteristics or limitations. Number one, it says that only material is the cost which can be treated as the variable cost. It says that apart from the material, all other costs are fixed cost. Like labor is a fixed cost, variable overheads is a fixed cost, fixed overheads is a fixed cost. So these costs are the conversion cost, because these costs are converting raw material into finished good. So this is called what? This is called conversion cost. Next one is time and bottleneck resource. Bottleneck means limiting factor. 6 minutes. Throughput accounting also assumes that we are working in a just-in-time environment where whenever we will receive order from our customer, we will place an order to our supplier. It also assumes that company is working with the total quality management where there will be zero defect, because whenever you are following just in time, it is not possible for you to work without the total quality management. What is the return per hour for product A? We have 6 minutes. If we convert these 6 minutes into hours, 6 divided by 60. So your hours are what? I think it is 0.1 hour, 0.1 hours per unit. And we have what? Material is the only variable cost. So first we will calculate throughput per unit. Step number one, throughput per unit is equal to 320 minus 80 to 40. Second one is throughput per hour, which is also called return per hour. Throughput per hour is equal to 240 divided by zero point 0.1. So I think answer will be 2400. So 2400 is the right answer from the throughput accounting uh, or throughput per hour. Anyone, any question? Okay. So now we are moving to the next one. A company grows different types of tea leaves. Companies basically doing what? They are growing tea leaves. It is their nature of business. The tea leaves are picked by hand because too many leaves are damaged and wasted when picking machines were used. Tea leaves are then dried and processed, and any waste produced is recycled. The company regularly tests its tea for contaminations in line with food safety legislation. It recently identified that one tea plantation contained high level of contaminated soil after the use of new pesticide. Required identify by selecting relevant box in the table below the environmental cost classification of each of the following cost. Now, what is this environmental cost or environmental management accounting? Environmental cost or environmental management accounting is basically the one where an organization is going to incur cost on environment, or we can say that on the sustainability of the environment, or we can say that it is incurred by an organization to make sure that they are contributing towards the environment of the uh, uh, country or in which they are doing business. Usually, organizations are expected to save their cost from the wastages, either from material wastage, either from labor cost wastage, energy wastage, water wastage, and they will incur cost on what? They will incur cost on environment. They will create budget from the saving of the wastages. So it says what? Identify by selecting the relevant box in a table below environmental cost classification of each of the following costs. Cost incurred to clean contamination soil. Cost incurred to clean contamination is an external failure cost, where we are failed to incur the cost or where we are failed to prevent the environment. Staff cost for picking leaves by hand. Now we are doing what? We are adopting or paying this cost as a prevention because we don't want to waste our leaves. Next one is recycling wastage cost. Recycling wastage is an internal process, that it is an internal failure cost. Next one is cost for testing tea for contaminations. We are incur testing cost. So testing cost is what? It is the detection cost. We are detecting if there is any failure or if there is any gap. Anyone? Any question? Next one is a company predicted that the learning rate of the production of the new product would be 80%. The actual learning rate was 75%. Following possible reasons were stated for this. They planned that they will incur 80% as a learning curve rate, but their labor learned at 75%. Why? The number of new employees recruited was lower than expected. This could be a valid reason. Whenever you are hiring new people, they need more time for the learning. Number two, unexpected problems were encountered with the production. Unexpected problems are encountered with the production. I think when we are setting learning curve target, we need to or we have already incorporated unexpected problems. Unexpected changes to health and safety laws meant that the company had to increase the number of breaks during production for employees. So number of breaks during production for employees. Which of the following above reasons could be caused the different tie between the expected rate of learning and the actual rate of learning? So what is the correct answer? Correct answer is only the first one, where we hired new people and hiring of the new people more than expected affected our learning curve, because new people needs more time to learn, and when you are hiring more new people in comparison with expectation, that definitely they need more time. Anyone, any question? Okay. Which of the following is not true about the sales mix variance? What is sales mix variance basically? Sales mix variance is the one where we are calculating the difference between the standard sales mix and actual sales mix. What is this standard sales mix or actual sales mix? Standard sales mix, how much units must be sold by an organization in standard proportion with the total actual sales, or what were actually sold, or what is the actual mix of an organization. If actual sales mix of an organization is greater than the standard sales mix, it means variance is favorable. So here he's saying that what is not true about the sales mix. If actual sales revenue from the two products are in the same proportion as the budgeted sales, same proportion means what? 50-50. Budgeted sales revenue, there is no measurable sales mix variance. This is not true, I think. If all products have the same budgeted margin, there is no measurable sales mix variance. Next one is, if actual sales volume are at the same ratio as the budgeted sales volume, there is no measurable sales variance. This is true, but we are here to identify the not true. This one is the true answer, where budget and actual sales mix is same, then there will be no variance. If actual sales volume of all the products are 10% above the budgeted sales, there is no measurable sales mix variance. So what is the right answer? Right answer is, if actual sales revenue from the two products are in the same ratio as the budgeted sales revenue, there is no measurable sales mix variance. It is not true. If actual sales revenue from the two products are in the same ratio as the budgeted sales revenue, there is measurable sales mix variance. Actual revenue can differ from each other, even their proportions are same. Maybe you charge different prices actually in comparison with the budget, which affected your budgeted profit per unit or your contribution per unit. Next one is, the following information is available for a manufacturing company which produces multiple products. Number one is product mix ratio, contribution to sales ratio for each product, general fixed cost, method of reapportioning general fixed cost. Okay. Now, the following information is available for a manufacturing company which produces multiple products. First one is the product mix ratio. It is true, the product mix ratio. Second one is contribution to sales ratio of each product. We will use CS ratio for each product. And general fixed overheads. General fixed overheads are used to calculate profit where needed, and general fixed overhead is also used to calculate the break-even point revenue of the organization when we are following multi-product CVP analysis. Method of reapportioning, it is not relevant with the multi-product CVP analysis. So the correct answer is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 are basically the relevant answers or relevant values when we are solving multi-product CVP analysis. Which of the following statements regarding technologies and systems are correct? Network computers can save cost by sharing hardware, software, and data. What are the network computers? Network computers are basically printers. They are the software. They are accounting packages. They are basically used to share the data. So wherever you are using network computer for sharing data, you will be able to save the cost. So this one is the correct statement. And intranet provides quick, effective communication with supplier. Intranet is basically not used for the supplier. Intranet is used for internal connectivity where all the employees will be connected with each other within the organization. Wireless network allow businesses to expand with less disruption than the wired networks. Yes, it is true that wireless network can help you to expand your business. The internet can be used to monitor and measure customer interest. Yes, we can use internet to develop our big data or database in which we uh, are trying to understand the customer preferences. So first, third, and fourth are the right answers. Anyone, any question? It could be an issue, right? So now we are going to continue with the next question. M company makes a range of products and sells them online. It uses activity-based costing to allocate cost to its product. Its two most successful products are ABC1, ABC2, but it makes approximately 20 other products in its factory. The company processes and dispatches 12 million orders each year over its entire product range. Information relating to ABC1, ABC2 is as follows. Sales volume 10 million units and 2.4 million. Average order size is 8 and 1.2. The total packaging and dispatching cost pool for Maribella company is 18 million per year. Further is saying, what is the packaging and dispatching cost for each unit of ABC1? So here we will do what? We will follow the steps of activity-based costing. First step, what will we do? We will calculate our cost per order, sorry, cost per driver is equal to 18 million divided by. We need to determine what? We need to determine our number of orders. Average order size is 8 units and sales volume is 10 million. So we are required to calculate order size over here. 10 and then we have what? Sorry, these are provided here 12 million. So 12 million. 18 by 12 million, 1.5 is the cost per driver, or we can say that cost per order. Now further he is saying what? He is saying that in one order there will be 8 units. So overheads per unit is equal to 1.5 divided by 8. 1.5 divided by 8. It is 0.1875. So the nearest answer is 0.19. This is the right answer. Which of the following are consequences of using ideal standards? Ideal standards are what? Ideal standards are those where we assume that there will be no material wastages, there will be no idle hours of the labor, and all the variables are controllable for the organization, which is definitely not possible in reality. Variance analysis is likely to produce adverse results. Yes, it is true. Demotivation of staff usually becomes a problem. It is also true whenever you will set ideal standards, there will be demotivation. Allowances for the normal efficiency levels are made. Standards can become more useful for long-term targets. So, 1, 2, and 4 can become more useful for long-term targets. For the longer period of time, you can set a ideal standard because of your learning curve, because of number of factors, but in the short term, it is not the right approach. A company wishes to decide a selling price for a new product. Weekly sales of each product will depend on the sale price charged and also on the customer responses to the new product. The following payoff table has been prepared. Weekly contribution is provided horizontally and the weekly demand is provided vertically. If the choice of the selling price is based on minimax regret decision rule, which price should be selected? What is maximax? Maximax means maximizing the maximum possible benefit. Maximum and maximum. So the combination of two maximum means what? Maximax. Maximizing the maximum possible benefit. Second one is maximin. Maxi means maximum, min means minimum. So maximin means maximizing the minimum possible benefit. Maximax is followed by risk seeker, and this one is followed by risk averse manager. Third one is minimax regret rule. Mini means minimizing. What minimizing maximum regret? Maximum regret will arise due to wrong decision. So minimizing the maximum regret which will arise due to wrong decision. Which price would be selected? So what to do over here? We need to use this regret table. Whenever you are comparing values or you are calculating the values, you are making relationship of best possible with the P1, best possible with the P2, best possible with the P3, and best possible with the P4. So here you have 3 weekly demands. Here you have 4 contributions. So 3 multiplied by 4 means what? You have 12 possible outcomes. Now 12 possible outcomes are provided in this regret table. Now you will do what? You will use these 12 possible outcomes and you will identify that which price would be selected as a minimax regret decision rule. First of all, we are saying best possible and we have 4 values. Highest value is 32,000. 32,000 highest value means here you have zero regret. Here you have what? Here you have zero regret. So when you will make this regret table separately, you will say 0 over here Then you will calculate the difference between this 30,000, 2,000 and 30,000. Suppose you make a wrong decision and you charge price 1, you will earn maximum 30,000. So rather than 32, you are earning 30. So that's why there is a loss of profit of 2,000. If you make a wrong decision and you pick P2, now you are earning 31.5 rather 32, and there is a loss of zero point 0.5 or 500. And same as P4, where you can earn 32 but you are earning 31.5, so there is a loss of zero point 0.5 or 500. So here we have what? Here we have loss of 2000. Here we have loss of 500. Here we have loss of 500. Now among all these four, once again here highest value is provided over here. So where you are given with the highest value, this is called zero regret. So now what will you do? 28,000 minus 24,000. There is a loss of profit of 4,000. 28,000 minus 26,250. There is a loss of profit of 1750. Then 28,000 minus 27,000. There is a loss of profit of 1,000. Now the next one, this one is the maximum in the third row. So here you have zero regret. Due to wrong decision, you pick P2 and you are earning 17,500. So there will be a loss of what? Loss of 500. Then 18,000 minus 16,000, loss of 2,000. Then 18,000 minus 13,500. So there is a loss of 4,500. Now we are done with the different possible values which can arise due to wrong decisions in three different possible outcomes. Now we are required to do what? We are required to identify where there will be the minimax regret decision rule. Minimax decision rule is here the maximum loss is what? Here the maximum loss is 4,000. Here you have maximum loss of what? It is 1750. Here you have what? Maximum loss of 2,000. And here in this row you have maximum loss of 4,500. So we are required to minimize our maximum regret. Maximum regret is 4,500. And we are required to do what? We are required to reduce this. So lowest possible is this one, 1750. At what price? P2. Right? Any question? The following circumstances may arise in relation to the launch of a new product. Which two of the following circumstances favor a penetration pricing policy? What is this penetration pricing policy? Penetration pricing policy means company is charging lowest possible price at the time of launching of the product. That's why a company will be able to attract maximum customers and company will be able to increase their market share. Penetration pricing is possible in the consumer goods where useful life of the product is indefinite. So demand is relatively inelastic. Inelastic, no, it is demand is elastic. For market skimming, we can say that demand is inelastic. For penetration pricing, demand is always elastic. Remember this. It can be asked by the examiner in your exams as well. There are significant economies of scales. Yes, it is true, because we are producing goods in a large quantity. Where there will be mass production, there will be lowest possible cost per unit. The firm wishes to discourage new entrants to the market. It is also true because when you are producing a product at a lowest possible cost, you will be able to sell at a lowest possible selling price. which will reduce what? It will reduce your cost. The product life cycle is particularly short. This is followed by skimming pricing policy, not in the penetration policy. So second and third are the correct answers. Next one is T company makes and sells product X and Y. The two products are sold in a product mix ratio of X ratio Y. 3 ratio 2 means 5. Where we are selling one packet, in one packet or one package, there will be 3 units from X and there will be 3 units from Y. Selling price per unit is 58 or 1028. Marginal cost is 26 and 16. Tea company wishes to earn a profit of $3,600 next month. Using the given product mix, what total value of the sales units would be needed to achieve the targeted profit of 3600? So here we are required to achieve targeted profit of 3600. What are the steps of targeted profit? Step number one is targeted contribution. Targeted contribution is the one where we are adding targeted cost in the fixed cost. And company wants to earn what? 3600. What is the fixed cost of the company? 30,000. So 3600 plus 30,000, it is $33,600 is the targeted contribution. Next one is weighted average contribution. What is this weighted average contribution? Is equal to 3 units of X at what is the contribution? 58 minus 26, 32 plus 2 into 12. So, and first calculate this one, 32 into 3. 32 into 3, 96 plus 24 divided by 5 to calculate the weighted average contribution. I think it is 24, sorry. 96 plus 24 is 120 and 120 divided by 5 is 24. So, how many units are required to sell to achieve this targeted profit? Targeted contribution divided by contribution per unit. So, your answer is 33,600 divided by 24. 1400 units are required to achieve targeted contribution. Log company has an operational gearing of 33.33%. Operational gearing basically measuring the relationship between fixed cost and the total cost, or fixed cost and the variable cost, or the third formula is to calculate relationship between contribution and PBIT. If sales are currently $100 million and its operating profit is $20 million, operational gearing is calculated by dividing fixed cost by variable cost. What is the operating profit if sales increase by 15%? Okay, so their current ratio is what? Their current operational gearing is 33%. And he's saying that your sales are currently 100 and your operating profit is 20. If you want, now you want to do what? You want to increase your sales by 15%. What will be our operating profit? Here basically we have what? We have difference between 100 and 20. This 80 is what? This 80 is the total cost. This total cost contains what? This total cost contains mix of variable and fixed, and he is saying that 33, which means 0.333 is the answer. Fixed cost is X and variable cost is not provided, but we are provided with what? We are provided with the total cost. So we can do what? We can divide it in the four uh, proportions, because it is 33% of the variable cost, and variable cost is not provided over here. We will do what? We will assume that ratio is 1:3. 1 is representing fixed and 3 is representing variable cost. So we will do what? We will divide this 80 into 1:3, where 20% is treated as fixed cost, which means 20 million. Now you can solve alternatively. 0.333 is equal to x divided by, now you are saying that your 80% is what? 80% is variable cost, which is 60 million. So if you put 60 million over here, alternatively your answer will be same. Now we know that what is our fixed cost? Our fixed cost is 20 million. And what is our variable cost? Our variable cost is 60 million. Now he says that you are going to increase your sales by 15%. So currently out of 100, we can say that our contribution is what? 100 minus 60, 40 million, or alternatively 40% is the currently our contribution. So if we increase our sales by 15%, revised sales revenue 100 into 115%, it will be $115 million. Revised contribution $115 million into 0.4. So 115 into 0.4, 46 million is your revised contribution. And what is your variable cost? 115 minus 46 million, it is 69 million. So 69 million is your variable cost. If we say that this proportion will remain the same, then what would be the 33% as a fixed cost of this? So 23 million. 23 million is the fixed cost. If it is true, then your operating profit is 46 minus 23, 23 million. I think this must be the answer, because we are assuming that there will be no change in the fixed cost, or alternatively we can say what? Out of this 80 million, we need to adjust this fixed cost. I think this should be the answer as per given scenario, as per given information. If we adjust this one, there could be another approach of solving this, where we increase directly our contribution by 15%. Current contribution is what? Current contribution is 40 million. If we say 40 into 115%, Let's see, either it will be same. Yes, it is same. 46 million revised contribution. And now we say that if fixed cost is same, we have operating profit of what? We have operating profit of 26 million. So we are assuming that fixed cost will remain the same. If fixed cost will remain the same, then answer will be 26 million. Although then we are ignoring this ratio of previously what we used at 33.33%, and we are saying that fixed cost is the one which does not vary with the level of activity. That's why it will remain the same. So if there will be no change in the fixed cost, then 26 million is the right answer. Right, everyone? Any question?